Hi and welcome. I'm Oracle Asherah. This is an angel guided energy reading for mutable signs. We are talking to Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Let's get started. Okay. All right, we're very connected to power, wisdom, harmony, and universe. So these are some very powerful energies that are around you and about you. So please tap into those. Okay? So when we're praying for power, be careful what you wish for, okay? Because quite often, just as an example, I want peace in my life. When we are saying such a thing to ourselves, we're also asking for tower moments, which means things falling apart, things that are need our attention in order for that peace to exist. So that could be professional, personal, relationships, anything. So coming back to this example of I want peace in my life, in order for peace to exist in these places, there's always going to be some kind of shake-up for the unnecessary to fall off. Doesn't mean that the job or yourself or your relationships are false or wrong or not for you, but it means that there are things, beliefs, traumas, unhealed, that exist that are blocking our path. Okay, so power in prayer, and be careful what you wish for, and understand that when you're asking for something, there is always a counterbalance or the path to that we might not always be anticipating. So when we say, again, for the example of peace, it doesn't mean a peaceful road. It means in order for us to achieve peace, we have to be aware of these things that need our attention in order for us to achieve what it is that we want. Okay, so that takes wisdom, harmony in self and with your relationship with your spirits, angels, right? And the universe always has your back. Okay, so finding balance within yourself is super important right now. Quite often when things are disrupting our life and situation, that is because we have bonded ourselves in some ways that, like I was speaking before, that are blocking our self, our growth, our awareness, our advancements. Right. So when we do this work, you're going to have moments to rejoice and celebrate, because there are wins coming your way, but we also have to coexist with ourself and the universe and the world around us in order for magic of miracles and whatnot, right? So just allow yourself to stay neutral, stay and be in awareness for being aware. Okay. Quite often with knowledge and wisdom is knowing what to ignore, right? Is this truth? Is this something that's trying to trap me into some emotional loop, right? So we get caught into our emotional loops or whatever. We can then become aware of what patterns and mental loops are we having that is unnecessary, right? So if we have binded ourselves to a belief, that will repeat, and it's not because it's right. It's repeating because it wants out. Okay, so when we do this kind of work, you're going to create freedom, right? So third eye chakra, right? This is where your power and wisdom and harmony with the universe is going to communicate with you. So staying neutral is the seat of awareness, okay? Because if you're caught up in your emotions or caught up in your thoughts, you're not going to be balanced. Okay, so when we are neutral, we are sitting in the I'm aware of my thoughts, I'm aware of my feelings, and I'm at the place where I am an authority to myself and I can see clearly. All right, I like how that just flowed. Awesome. Okay. Right, so we're on a path to material and spiritual prosperity, right? So, right. So this path is a lot of work, and it's not without trials and tribulations, but the more you know, the more you grow, right? So in order for this prosperity, it takes partnership and alliances, patience, right? And the promise of fulfillment of wishes is here. So don't give up. Do this necessarily work along the meantime. So while you're being patient and while you're waiting, clear up the unnecessary within the self. Okay? That doesn't mean that everything is going to come easy, but it does mean it is coming, and it is coming because you are doing all of this work. Okay, so the waiting game is the hard part, right? But it is important to utilize this time for bettering the self, because when you better yourself, you're bettering what you bring to your projects, bettering to what you present of self, bettering into your relationships, right? So we have victory, success here, crown chakra, right? So crown is where we are having that connection to God, higher vibration, frequency, higher self. So do take that time to pray, be in that neutral seat where you have authority over your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, okay? Because quite often we are not all our thoughts. That's just a place. Our emotions, that's just the expression of self that and the body that's trying to tell you things, right? So whether this is unhealed or this is something that's happening or this is something you need to be aware of, right? So this is all forms of communication. And our beliefs is what either stumps us or protects us, or I like beliefs to be a place of where we have integrity, loyalty, honor, and in who we are, right? So when we layer on top of that, I believe this of this, I believe that of that, then we are packing all kinds of things that may be unnecessary. So maybe go back to a simpler place. I really like the path of the Bushido. That is the path of the warrior, right? So that's like honor, integrity, loyalty, courage, honor, strength, love. So those I like to be a core of beliefs, right? There's a lot of great native beliefs. There's a lot of great structures of beliefs in all religions. So whatever it works for you, go back to the basics, to the core, and therefore be like, do I still believe in all these things that I packed on? Okay. Deception and envy. Quite often with our success, we do attract green-eyed monsters in other people. But that is where we need to be compassionate, understanding, and have good boundaries, right? We don't want to share too much information that's unnecessary with people. We don't need to brag and boast with people, because the more we talk, then the more opportunity we're giving these people to sabotage, interfere, or gossip, right? So protect and keep your life sacred, okay? And that is between you, your God, your angels, your teams, and that is also your what was I gonna say? Your alliance with your team, okay, and that could be all your partners and whatnot, okay. Not shuffle right. Mutable signs, guidance for mutable signs. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Okay, so healing. We need to heal things within ourselves, and that could be anywhere from birth to present. That's your inner child. So your inner child is carrying your whole story. So if you want to tap into what healing you need to do, spend some time connecting with your inner child. Healing could also be your emotional state and your mental state. Okay, healing in the physical world could be, you know, cleaning your space, getting things in order, getting in alignment, and things in alignment to that makes sense to your dreams and fulfillment. Okay. All right, talent. Right, so it is quite a blessing to live a life where you get to live within your talents, right? So tap into your talent, your gifts, and your skills. Your consistency is your strength, and that is what's going to see you through. Okay, so have compassion for yourself, for everything that you are nurturing. Okay, have forgiveness for yourself and for your family. I'm seeing that quite often when we don't have forgiveness, we carry burdens or disappointments or wounds or all these things. So that's not a place for you to nurture your growth. Okay, so forgive, have compassion, understanding, and nurturing for them, and have boundaries and not walls, because with your boundaries, it allows you guys still a place to meet. It still allows communication, expression, and involvement, but it also holds space for they don't get to know all this. They don't get to be involved with this, but we still have love and family. Okay? All right. All right, so, yep. Love it. So, prosperity, victory, all those things are coming for you, right? But anything can change in a day. So stay focused, stay true, stay in alignment, and do the work, the shadow work along the way, so that when that day comes, you are at your best. Your world is at its best. Okay? All right, we got third eye again. Okay. All right, inner child. So inner child is carrying a lot, but let's focus on what the inner child brings. Okay, so your inner child is lightheartedness. It brings magic, innocence, wonder, playfulness into your life and your world, right? So also when we unburden that child, it also frees that magic into enjoying our present, enjoying our building our dreams. Okay, so when it comes to our third eye, that is where we are allowing a lot of magic and our intuition and connection with angels, higher self and spirit and self to have place in our consciousness and awareness. So focus on meditation, focus on being balanced in your neutral seat for that communication and clarity. Okay, your physical health is important. Focus on what's inspiring you, not influencing you. Okay, so I like to say higher frequencies live in the land of inspiration, right? This feels good. No, it doesn't sound like a good idea at the time. That's kind of influence, but when it's inspirational, it is nurturing you from a higher vibration. Okay, so do some work along that way. Love it. All right, so let's just tap in real quick here for mutable signs. What is it we need to look at? in ourself the most right now. Okay. Okay, so, right. So just like I was talking about peace earlier, so when we're praying for peace, quite often there is tribulations. There are things that kind of shake, make, and move us, that gets rid of the unnecessary. So this is a very important part of the self, the destroyer. So this is releasing what's potentially destructive, helping prepare for your new life, right? So this is where all your prosperity and victories are coming in, right? So when we're shedding beliefs, feelings, thoughts that aren't serving us and bringing us to that, that is now creating, when we shed all that, it creates space for the things that we can nurture, build, and grow with. Okay, so right, I don't think we have to worry too much about the shadow attribute to that, but be careful not to destroy other people's potentials and dreams, because sometimes when we get carried away in ourself being destructive, sometimes we get destructive outwards. So when you have power, right, great responsibility, so therefore, use it for what it does, helping things, cleaning up things, getting rid of the unnecessary things. Okay, all right. Serving humanity with humility. Okay. Exaggerated belief that you're the only means through which can be succeeded, which a cause can succeed. Right. So humility, humble. God can work with that. If you have an ego so thick, your lessons are going to be even thicker, right? So if you are humble and you have humility, and that's where God's going to give his hands, because you're going to be able to help, to heal, to do more for this planet. Okay? Right. So when God is present within you, it helps you be the healer, the engineer, the networker. Okay? These are all things that can happen when we are in alignment. Right. So seeking solitude is great because it allows you to focus, work on your inner self. It also serves creativity, right? If you are always out and about, you are too distracted, too active in other things, that you're not nurturing your craft, your growth, and your situation. So I guess with this, there's balance, right? So don't become so detached from society, family, people, right? That you're refusing to help people, or getting caught up in fear and negativity, right? So although I like to say with fear and negativity, there's an advantage with that, because if you start documenting, analyzing, and working to heal those things, then you are doing the shadow work. Okay, so I don't see that as a negative, unless if you're taking advantage of that. Okay, guys, we'll talk soon.